Michael Schumacher had everything in his prime: great performances, crazy brand deals, and a beautiful wife. From 1994 to 2004, Schumacher went on a legendary run that no one else could replicate. But no one seems to remember it anymore after his retirement. This German driver became a living legend in motorsport, breaking record after record. At his best, Michael Schumacher was a driving phenomenon, an artist behind the wheel who wowed the world with his natural talent and obsession with winning. Michael Schumacher was born in Hermelin, Germany in 1969 to Rolf and Elisabeth Schumacher, hard-working Germans. His father was a laborer in the region and at some point built a homemade kart with a motorcycle engine for his son. This small kart was Schumacher's first introduction into the world of motorsports. Without knowing it, his father sparked a passion in him that would change his life. The Schumacher family didn't have much money, so they couldn't afford the best or newest racing equipment. Despite this, Schumacher dominated the local circuit. In karting, he made a name for himself with successes such as winning the German Junior Kart Championship (JKM) in 1984. He repeated the JKM Championship and became the runner-up in the FIA Junior World Championship in 1985. In 1986, he won the German Kart Championship (DKM), and in 1987, he won the European 100cc Championship. These were just a few of the many championships the German achieved in karting. However, despite his impressive success, the family still lacked the financial resources to secure his future in motorsports. This is where one of the most important people in Schumacher's career comes into play: Willy Weber, a German talent agent. Impressed by Schumacher's skills in karting, Weber saw his potential to join the elite of motorsports. He approached the Schumacher family with an offer. He would provide Michael with a salary, fund his racing career, and secure him a seat in a racing car in exchange for managing his career. Schumacher accepted, seeing the opportunity to fulfill his dream. And so, in 1988, Schumacher moved from karting to kart racing, joining 3 different championships: the Formula Koenig, the German Formula Ford 1600, and the European Formula Ford 1600. In the German championship, he finished 6th overall, with 3 victories, 4 podiums, and 1 pole position in 6 races. In the European championship, he was the runner-up, with 2 victories, 3 podiums, and 1 pole position in 4 races. He also competed in the Formula Koenig, where he became the champion with 9 victories in 10 rounds, making a fantastic debut in faster cars, which allowed him to continue growing in the world of motorsports in 1989. 1990 was a great year for his development as a driver. He competed in the German Formula 3 Championship, where he finally won the championship, and on paper, 1991 was expected to be another good year in the feeder series for Formula 1. No one knew that this would be the year when his big opportunity to join the top tier of motorsport would finally come. Schumacher was competing in DTM and the World Sports Car Championship, but in August of that same year, the Jordan Formula 1 team needed a driver. They had the duo of Andrea de Cesaris and the Belgian Bertrand Gachot, but Gachot was going to miss his home Grand Prix due to an untimely arrest. This turned out to be a lucky break for Schumacher. Jordan needed to replace their driver, and this was the moment when Willy Weber pushed hard for Jordan to give Schumacher a chance in Formula 1, despite his young age and limited experience. They gave him the opportunity with a test at Silverstone, where he surprised Eddie Jordan with his performance. However, Spa-Francorchamps, the circuit where he debuted, is a very difficult track. Before giving him the final approval to replace the Belgian driver, Jordan wanted to know if Schumacher had experience on this track. The Schumacher family and Willy Weber told them he did, but this was a lie. Schumacher only knew the track visually and had never driven on it, but if lying was necessary to get the opportunity, that's what they did. With the tests done, Schumacher faced his first weekend as a Formula 1 driver on the dangerous, fast, and tricky Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Schumacher did not waste the opportunity he had been given. He had an incredible qualifying session, placing his car in 7th position, beating his teammate, and achieving the best qualifying position for the team all season. As a rookie, This performance got a lot of attention and showcased his talent in his first contact with the category. From this point on, the world would truly understand what it meant to be the Kaiser. One could say that Michael Schumacher's best years began in the 1994 Formula One season. After a brief debut in 1991 with the modest Jordan team, the German signed with Benetton in 1992 and quickly began to make his mark. In his first full season in 1992, the young Schumacher dazzled the world by winning his first race in a chaotic Belgian Grand Prix, showcasing his exceptional talent at just 23 years old. However, his true breakout came in 1994 with a dominant performance in the first part of the season. He won 6 of the first 7 races, including 5 consecutive wins, setting a new record and making him the clear favorite for the championship. Despite controversies over alleged illegal electronic aids and penalties, no one could question Schumacher's superiority that season, leading the championship until the final race. A controversial incident with Damon Hill at the Australian Grand Prix gave him his first world title amid the controversy, but no one could deny his raw talent and almost supernatural ability to drive a race car, a skill rarely seen before. In 1995, the Kaiser confidently defended his title, winning 9 races and showing his skill on famous tracks like Nürburgring. It proved that his success the year before wasn't luck and cemented him as the scariest driver out there. But his big dream was to win with Ferrari, the most iconic team in F1. In 1996, that dream came true, and he took on the challenge to bring Ferrari back to the top. His first 2 years with them were about getting used to things, but in 2000, everything clicked. Schumacher won his 3rd championship in style, with 9 wins, 8 poles, and 10 fastest laps, dominating every important stat of the season. Driving the legendary Ferrari F1 2000, he showed incredible skill at tracks like Suzuka, Monaco, and Spa, leaving his rivals in the dust. It marked the start of his total domination in the iconic red cars. The following 2 years, 2001 and 2002, saw 2 unstoppable seasons from Schumacher. He crushed all competition, winning 20 more races in those years, making him a 5-time world champion at just 33 years old. His stats during this time were crazy. He got on the podium 19 times in a row between 2001 and 2002, won 35% of the races he entered, and scored almost double the points of his teammate. He was basically the best driver ever statistically at that point, beating legends like Prost and Senna. He just needed one more title to break Juan Manuel Fangio's record and become the most decorated solo driver ever. That 6th title came in a thrilling 2003 season that really tested Schumacher's mental strength. Young guns like Kimi Raikkonen and Juan Pablo Montoya gave him a run for his money in a tough battle for the championship. They both outshone him at different times during the year, but Schumacher once again showed why his winning mentality was so feared. After an amazing comeback, the German won the last race of the year in Japan, beating a determined Raikkonen in the rain. With his 6th world championship, Schumacher became the most successful solo driver in history, solidifying his legendary status in the sport. His dominance in Formula One continued in 2004 with an outstanding season, winning 13 races and setting a record for the most points in a year. Even top drivers like Montoya, Raikkonen, and Barrichello couldn't stop him. Memorable races like the 2004 French Grand Prix, where Schumacher came from behind in dry conditions to win, added to his legacy. Many began to consider him as the greatest driver of all time. However, every era comes to an end, and Schumacher started to fade in 2005 when a regulation change favoring one tire compound per race hurt Ferrari and Schumacher's performance. But the German didn't give up easily when faced with challenges. In 2006, he fought for the title against the young Spanish driver Fernando Alonso until the last race. Races like those in San Marino, Shanghai, and Japan saw intense battles between them. Unfortunately, an engine problem while leading comfortably in Japan ended Schumacher's hopes for an 8th world title. At that moment, he announced his retirement from F1 as a legend with 7 world championships, 91 wins, and a collection of records surpassing legends like Prost and Senna. You know the saying, legends never truly fade away. So, in 2010, Mercedes convinced Schumacher to return to the track after a brief 3-season retirement. For 3 seasons, he raced in the silver colors of the Silver Arrows, showing flashes of his former greatness at times. Moments like his amazing pole position in the rainy streets of Monaco in 2012, where he beat Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton in a thrilling qualifying session, or his emotional podium that same year in a chaotic race in Valencia, where he used all his experience to finish third despite difficult conditions. These moments remind us that although he wasn't as dominant as before, Schumacher's talent still shone through. But at 43, he didn't have the same hunger for victory, and younger drivers like Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, and Lewis Hamilton had taken the spotlight. After finishing 7th in a rainy Brazilian Grand Prix in 2012, Schumacher decided it was time to retire for good. His incredible Formula One career ended after 19 seasons, 307 races, 91 wins, and 7 world titles, making him one of the greatest athletes in history. In 2009, he retired as a driver who dominated the sport for an entire decade. A few months later, a tragic skiing accident in December 2013 changed his life forever. Schumacher suffered a severe brain injury and has been in a medically induced coma for weeks, fighting for his life. Since then, his family has kept information about his condition private, but we know he's facing the toughest battle of his life. But when you look at his amazing achievements, Schumacher's stats are just mind-blowing and nearly impossible to beat. He's still the driver with the most world titles, 155 podium finishes, over 5,000 laps leading races, 68 pole positions, and basically more records in Formula One than you can count. His numbers put him even above legends like Fangio, Prost, and Senna. He truly defined an era that's hard for any driver to match. Just think about it. At his best, the Kaiser was an unstoppable racing machine, dominating every race to become the greatest driver ever. He was a driving genius who built his legend lap by lap, reaching the very top of motorsport and creating memories that will last forever. That's the greatness of Michael Schumacher that nobody should ever forget, because in his prime, the German proved to be simply the most incredible phenomenon any motorsport fan could witness.